Good evening, folks. This is vk3sl. Welcome to our late night test missions here on 160 and also on UHF. And also there is a streaming service as well. So it goes out online via YT. Just look up my call sign on YouTube and you can find it. It's there. There's a channel devoted especially to these missions. Anyhow, we have cranked up the gramophone. We are on board.
Good evening.
Ready to go. Hello there, Frank. How has your evening been?
Very quiet, very quiet. I spent the afternoon with a friend talking at 100 miles an hour.
Okay.
And a very old friend. Okay. So I was a little bit talked out.
Okay, understood. Well, I hope you had a nice bit of a rest. I actually had a snooze. I just woke up a little while ago.
Well, that's the best thing. Yeah, I did as well.
Yay, it's not a bad idea. Oh, good. Well, I thought today we might sample... Well, I'm open to ideas. In fact, if anyone wants to chime in with any suggestions, I don't mind going with any tangent at all. But I just do, for some of the program at least, I thought it'd be fun to sample some of these records of John Hanna's.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it's all sorts of really interesting records. All organ music, lots of Wurlitzer music recorded in England.
Is it theatre organ? Or?
Yes, mostly theatre. There's a lot of pipe organ stuff there as well, but it's evidently a collector of theatre or organ recordings. And there's all manner of things. And this is John's specialty. He has a large, really specialist collection of organ records. So I dare say this will add something or add to his already special collection, but we will be passing on until he can pick them up. I'll dub off some of them so he can put them up on his YouTube channel.
I have a fairly big collection of organ music.
Okay.
It's nearly all written by J.S. Bach.
Ah, fantastic. Yes, I love Bach's organ music. Yeah.
I've got a series of Bach's entire organ works played by a fellow called Peter Herford.
Okay. I've heard of Peter Herford.
He's a British organist, I think, fairly well known.
Yeah.
I think he's very good.
Yes. That sounds great. I just one of my favourites is the Passacaglia in Fugue in C minor, that monumental work of Bach's, which is just...
Oh, indeed it is.
It's just so extraordinary. We might be able to sample some of it later.
I think Stokowski did great things with that, didn't he?
He did. He orchestrated. Of course, Stokowski started as an organist, and that's where he got his grand concepts.
Sure.
From. Everything has that sort of tradition of grand pipe organs, huge. I think of the Royal Albert Hall and big venues, and Stokowski was everything he did was larger than life. Yeah, well, I'll kick off with an organ record. This is an interesting one. This is sort of it's more about the theatre and theatre orchestra, but it does feature Mr. Reginald Foort, F-O-O-R-T. He's the fellow who features on a lot of the records in this batch, actually. And he's a British organist and I think he was very much a major player, a major figure in his fraternity. And here he is with Anton and the Paramount Theatre Orchestra in London. And so we hear the orchestra and the organ. Now this, I find this quite sort of enticing because this would have been the experience of so many people attending the movies in the interwar period, war between the wars, hearing I think it was quite common, I think the big theatres in Melbourne and Sydney and in the major centres.
They all had their organs, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They had massive organs, big Wurlitzers, and they also had orchestras as well.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Capitol Theatre had an orchestra, and I think the State Theatre did as well. I know the Capitol Theatre Orchestra was pretty much a full-time ensemble. My professor played in it as a kid in the 20s. And there's some photos of it too. There was a really, there was a lot of work for musicians back then. So, but this is the sort of thing I expect. This is from the 30s. It's a Swing Time selection. Now, Swing Time was a Paramount film, I think, was it RKO? Anyhow, it was with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. They Swing Time. And so these are selections from that, two sides of a 10-inch record. So I'll do a little flip-o-matic in between,
Good.
but you'll get the big, full experience of a theatre orchestra and theatre organ. So Anton, whoever he was, and the Paramount Theatre Orchestra in London with Reginald Foote at the organ, says. So we'll cue this one up now. And I think a very good way to start. escaping into the world of cinema, the cinematic experience. Wonderful sound. What a sound. What a world. Sound world. Theatre organ and orchestra there at the Paramount in London, I think. Let's find out on the label. The Paramount Theatre Orchestra London with Reginald Foote. That was selections from Swing Time on two sides of a 10-inch 78. So, yeah, listening to Mr. Foote, he seemed to be the big cheese. He had all the gigs, and he apparently had this huge organ called a giant molar concert organ. Apparently it's just this monumental machine, and he actually toured with it, which is just sort of unimaginable. And I just found this little snippet of a newsreel where he talks about it, and they show this massive, incredible organ, sort of being loaded into a truck and reassembled, but he tells the tale. And I was just reading, apparently it did happen. He went to the various theatre circuits, and somehow, I don't know how this worked really, because it's so big, but where would you assemble the thing? But he toured with this giant molar 527 concert organ. So let's hear Mr. Foote himself talk about it on a Pathatone newsreel.
Hello everybody. Can you imagine how proud I am of my wonderful new organ? It weighs over 20 tons and it has nearly 300 stops, well over 2,000 pipes, a 33 horsepower blower, and actually there's enough wire in it to go a couple of times round the world. Our main problem, of course, is transport. So as soon as the show finishes on the Saturday, a staff of about 30 men descend on the organ and they take it to pieces, load it into 5 huge lorries, and away we go, and you can imagine what a problem that is. Now I'm going to give you a little demonstration of one or two of its possibilities. Well, how's that for the Scotch Express leaving Euston? The outstanding feature of the whole organ is the wonderful brass section. I'm quite sure this organ has the snappiest action of any organ that I've ever played in my life, so I'd like to play you a little of William Tell Overture just to show you how marvellous the action is.
Well, that's a story. Amazing. That was the giant molar concert organ featured by Reginald Foote, who apparently toured with it with 5 lorries, 20 tons.
Boy,
Wow.
a lot of organ.
That's a lot of organ. My goodness me. Sort of larger than life. It's sort of the whole theatrical experience was sort of defined by these things.
Didn't they have them in pits and they emerged from the pits to play?
Yeah, I think so. I think some of them were on sort of hydraulic platforms.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and gosh, it says here, this particular organ we just heard then, that molar, the one that belonged to Reginald Foote, he used it he toured the variety theatres with that machine of Great Britain, and it replaced the Blitz BBC Compton Theatre organ and was eventually installed in a former chapel in Hoxton, London, so it's probably still going. But yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. Well, there's a number of recordings in this collection of him playing this organ, and so just inhabit. I mean, I haven't really been a Wurlitzer person, but I'm quite open-minded, and I'd like
I'm
to.
the same.
Yeah, it's not sort of my scene, but having these records here just sort of brings it all into the fore, and I'm quite happy to have a little indulge here and there.
Are you listening to it on your big speaks?
Yeah, well, I've got to be careful because everyone's asleep in the
Oh, of
house.
course, no. Yes, I've got to be careful as well.
Yes, that's it. So I'd like to. I think that'd sound amazing on the big speaks, actually. That'd sound incredible. Yeah, and there's probably contemporary recordings in good fire which would sound really amazing.
Was there anything distinguishing about it, theatre organ as opposed to a church organ?
Well, I think the Wurlitzers were all sort of, they did have pipes, but they also have electronically generated sound effects, lots of sound effects, and it's not the sort of intricate voicings and the deep tradition of a pipe organ in the church tradition.
They all had a very particular sound, the Wurlitzers, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They sort of had that fast vibrato and sort of. I always think of Liberace and his ear-to-ear smile.
Exactly.
it's sort of got that, and the sequins top hats and the all the flamboyance that goes with them.
All of that.
Yes, and and as you say, the rising console came out of the pit, and the organists with their tails would, it was a real spectacle as well.
Then there was a generation after that where they went electric and they had B3s and other Hammonds and that sort of thing.
Yes, that's right. I think especially for the smaller venues.
That's right.
Yeah, I think these particular organs, these huge Wurlitzers, were really a product of those massive theatres. Those theatres that hold 4,000 people, and they just made things to such high to accommodate such large audiences and the big experience.
And societies of organ lovers.
Yeah, look,
theatre organ lovers.
Yes, they're a very committed society and they're strong, and look, and of course in more recent times, like the Hammonds, they've got those electones, which also have lots of the similar effects to the traditional Wurlitzer, just in a single machine.
Yeah.
But so I think there's this whole concept has sort of evolved in various ways, but I think the original Wurlitzers were partially pipe, partially electronics, and lots of sound effects to sort of give extra, particularly with the silent films, to give them
literally bells and whistles.
Indeed, that's it, exactly, spot on, definitely. Well, this next record is apparently, it says here, what's it say on the label? Memories of the Gaiety Theatre in London. Now, I was just looking up the Gaiety Theatre. It was in the Strand, and I think it was built in the 1860s, and it was sort of right in the heart of the theatre district, and just about every big show started or featured at the Gaiety Theatre at some point, and it's just this amazing list of big shows that ran their season from the 1860s right through to the Second World War. I think it was closed in about 1938 because of safety concerns, and then it was bombed sadly, and the building's no longer there. But here's a selection by Mr. Foote of various choruses from productions at the Gaiety Theatre. I won't list them because they're sort of all long gone, but it's an experience, and with a particular connection. So I think we're right to go. Another 10-inch record. If it sounds okay, I'll do a flip in the middle and we'll hear side B. Let's continue. Reginald Foot and his giant molar concert organ playing hits from the Gaiety Theatre, a long gone theatre in the Strand in London, and a bit of a sprightly set of tunes there, showing off all of the characteristics of that instrument. But, it's a particular sound. But I was thinking to myself and listening to that, Frank, that would have been a lot of people's own experience of live music. Would have been going to the local theatre and hearing the organ being played during the movies or in between. So that's,
part of the entertainment, obviously.
Yeah, I reckon. So, it would have featured strongly in people's imagination. It would have been something that, if you went to the movies, particularly in the silent era, or, right through, really. I think even during intermission and before the show, they'd have, even when the talkies
warm up the audience.
Yeah, that's it. And and I have to say, hearing these instruments live, it's a pretty visceral experience, very involving. I mean, it's a big sound. They do fill the auditorium up and they grab you.
That's exactly right. You were surrounded by it, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a real immersive experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably something that's very, very hard to capture on a gramophone record, is that sort of larger than life sound. And
if you can get those huge speakers that you talk about, with a fill the room.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. They load the room. Yeah, and
that gives you that sort of experience.
It does. It's sort of, it's like being in a live event, simply because you're just moving so much air. Yeah, that's a part of it. But I do like the way that these organs, had things like octave coupling and voicings, and so you could just get these sort of seismic qualities. And
variety in there.
Yeah, it certainly can. I won't play. It's hundreds here. This is crate full of them. I'll maybe in a few months' time we might play one or two more. But before leaving the subject, there's one here that sort of takes my attention. It's a programmatic record, and it's very much in that Edwardian ilk, and it's in a clock store is on one side, and the other side's a policeman's holiday.
Oh, well, this sounds good.
Yeah, so this could be fun. This will be some real Edwardian kitsch here. And so this is another on the giant molar organ by Mr. Foot.
Should just say I'm vk3sl on 145.04. Talking to vk3sl testing.
Yes, testing on
unwanted feedies.
That's it. No, it's all good. We're definitely engaged in test missions on 160 and UHF, and also I should mention streaming online where things are humming away there. Okay, so what do you reckon? In a clock store or the policeman's holiday? What do you want?
I'm going policeman's holiday.
Policeman's holiday, yay! We'll plonk it on. An HMV and English recordings. Back to the day. Let's hear some programmatics from the post-Edwardian era. So I'm going to have to do a quick needle lift here because the record's gumming up.
All right.
Okay, we sort of got there. Unfortunately, that record's rather gummed up. Sometimes the covers deteriorate and they put this, you get this sort of gumming up of the grooves.
Right.
Yeah, and the record looked in okay condition, but it'd probably be fine if it was washed. So that's the situation there. It was a little bit of a lost cause, but I did enjoy the music. Bit of fun hearing some nice.
Do the other side.
Yeah, we can give the other side a go. I might just try and clean it first. In a clock store. This will be fun. This will have lots of nice Wurlitzer effects.
Tox, yes,
Yeah,
be good.
it'll be good. I'm just going to give it a good clean first with the little cleaning thing, because I'll see if I can get this crud out of the grooves, and hopefully we'll just have more success with this side. There we go. Let's try this one. So, maybe I should try the other turntable. That's a thought. I might try a different stylus profile. Maybe that'll help. In a clock store. Put it onto the CE turntable. There we go. Onto a needle drop. And with any luck, we might have better success here. Oh, don't you love it?
Bells and whistles on display there.
Yeah, they certainly were. It's just all happening.
It's cute, isn't it?
It is cute. It's just got this sort of quaint, sort of kitschy, marvellous, I don't know, ambience. Something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's great. It's of the times, and you know, people like their bit of programmatic music. They like something that just took them into down a foxhole.
I know.
Yes, in that case, into a clock working. But that was fun. I was just, there's all sorts of weird things here. This one here, a record I just want to sample a bit of this. Let's play one side. It says Lloyd Thomas at the mighty organ of the Granada Cinema, Tooting, London. And I just looked up the Granada Cinema, and it is a really magnificent theatre with a big Wurlitzer still on stage.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was it built 1931, this building, and it was just one of the big major picture houses in London. And was saved from the wreckers in 1971, and now it's got a Grade 1 heritage listing, including the organ, which they have concerts regularly there. So this record was probably put out not long after it was built. So it's sort of nice to hear this, a little sample of the Granada Cinema organ in Tooting. And in this instance, we've got Lloyd Thomas playing, and it's selections from Alexander's Ragtime Band, all the music of Irving Berlin sort of lumped together. And here's just a few tracks. So we'll just play one side of this. And another theatre experience. I'll see if I can just use that turntable. It seemed to work quite well. So we'll try this one. And slap it on. Shellac on the platter. And we should be in business. Well, a bit of overmod there. Yes, that was the Granada Tooting Cinema in 50 Mitcham Road, London. Has one screen and 3,104 seats, and it's currently closed, I think, because
okay.
Yeah, I think it's usually open, but yeah, as this says, this is the official page here. But
getting back to the organ, it must have several manuals.
Oh, they do. They have about 5.
Yeah, because the way he was interchanging sounds, he didn't have time to do it with stops.
Absolutely, it's so true. They're I mean, just letting to drive the things, just having the imagination to sort of create the variety between the different voicings and to give it to provide continuity and interest.
That also a fair degree of skill to play it so well.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. You have to be really a technical whiz to be able to play it effectively. A pipe organ in terms of technique.
Yes.
Oh, well, it is a pipe organ partially, but just the business of having to use pedals and multiple manuals.
Yeah.
But,
he was changing very rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, there's a photo of this console right in front of me here, and it's got 4 keyboards.
Well, that'd do credit to any church organ.
Yeah, definitely. And that I think the one that Mr. Reginald Foods was playing earlier on that newsreel, I think it had 5.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's this, and he's reaching right up. He's you're having this sort of vertical array of playing with a keyboard. I mean, you see these rock bands in the 70s working with multiple synthesizers layered.
They had nothing on these guys.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they had to be
and a pedal board as well.
Yeah, totally, exactly. So you have to sort of dance around with your toes as well. So quite a athletic event. But that's good. It's intriguing. Now, what it's reminded me of is of a record that I picked up the other day at the local op shop. Now, this was a part of vinyl discs, and amongst them is a recording of the Maestro Concert Orchestrion. Now, this is a mechanical orchestra, and it's featured in a museum in Copenhagen in Denmark. And so this record was evidently sort of brought upon a museum visit, and so it's a special disc made there of this remarkable, huge instrument, which is part organ, and it plays piano rolls or plays paper perforated rolls.
Okay.
But it does all sorts of bells and whistles, and it's just one of these mechanical marvels.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting, incredible. We did it a few weeks back with when you went around. I played the whole side, and it's quite compelling. It's an incredible sound. It's this instrument, and it's apparently what does it say here? I think there's only 6 of them in the world. I think 60 or 70 were made. In the 20s, 1926, this was built, and only 60 to 70s were originally made, and out of them, only 6 are known to survive today.
Good heavens.
Yeah, so this record would have come out in the 70s, but I'm sure this organ would still be in operation. Well, this instrument. But
what's it called again?
It's called an orchestrion. So orchest, ROIRION.
Gotcha.
Maestro Concert Orchestrion.
Okay, I could look it up.
Yeah.
I mean, to hear some more sound to it.
Yes, it'd be interesting to see what else there is. It's enormous, big wooden thing. It's like the size of a wall. It's got multiple. Well, it doesn't have keyboards because it plays these perforated rolls, probably special custom rolls, but it's got multiple modules and I don't know, all the bells and whistles and different percussion instruments, little drums inside it, all sorts of things. But we'll play a bit. Let's have a listen to this. It's we'll give it a good 5 minutes or so, and of the side, because I think one track leads into the next, and see what you think. This is a real mechanical marvel, the Maestro Concert Orchestrion. with full cavalry there. You got the orchestrion,
That
the
is
automatic
impressive.
orchestra. Isn't it incredible? What
Oh
a sound!
my God!
Yeah,
How would it be to write those rolls?
I know. I just don't know how they did it.
It'd be like computer programming.
Yes, it would. It would be. It would be not unlike writing computer cards. So,
Exactly right, like the punch cards of
yeah,
old.
yeah, exactly. You'd have to sit there. I don't know how they do it. They must have had some master instrument where you'd actually play into it.
Surely.
You'd think they'd have to do it. You wouldn't be able to do it any other way.
You can punch the holes in one by
No,
one.
you could get a little hole puncher and
little-
just little ticket machine they use at the on the
The
train.
sort of job you'd give to somebody serving life for murder or something.
Yes, that's right, exactly. Yeah, take your whole life, spend your whole life just writing one song.
That's right.
Oh gosh, incredible instrument!
That is
Really.
amazing.
It is.
It's interesting to count how many. After a while, you get the feel for what it actually can do.
Yes.
What its limits are.
You do. You get a sense of where its boundaries are.
Most interesting.
It is, and with all those percussion, some nice splats there.
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, yeah, the big swashbuckling, the big cymbal thing.
Yes, that's whatever it is that gives a real authentic splat.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Who needs a synthesizer?
Who does? It is very impressive. It's incredible. And it's a monolithic giant of an instrument, this thing. It's sort of would take up a whole room.
It must have cost squillions.
Oh, they would have. They must have been for the rich and famous or special events things.
From the rich and famous into the not so rich and famous.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
That was terrific.
yeah, very interesting. So I saw that in the op shop, and I thought, it's good missions fodder. So yeah, we played
I've
some.
never heard of it.
Yeah, so there's another side which will
That means
feature.
anything, but I mean, it's something so good you'd expect to have heard of.
Yeah, and I just think that because there's only 6 in the world, I don't know to what extent they're utilised and how many roles there
They'd
are.
be museum pieces.
They all would be, I expect. Yeah.
And there'd be a limited number of roles. I mean.
Yes, I expect so. I expect they, but I don't know. They probably could just get AI to do it or something now.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. but just to be clear, it's got no live interface.
No. There's a picture of it here, and all there is a big, very big roll. Looks like sort of something you'd see in a printer's shop. This huge roll, and bellows and things at the bottom. A multitude of pipes, cymbals, trumpets, sort of pseudo brass instruments, and things that make bells and whistles. And I could hear the piano, and I was wondering if there's a piano in it too. So
I can't see how there wouldn't be, because how else? The only other way you could do it would be some sort of recording.
Yeah.
Like a mellotron thing.
Yes, totally. No, I think there's a piano inside it. I think it's swallowed a piano.
But it's probably only a couple of 2 or 3 octaves of a piano.
Yeah, sure. It probably is. But the thing is so big that it's
You couldn't have an 88-note keyboard.
Well, that's right. I mean, there's only so many perforations you can put onto a roll, isn't
I
there?
know.
Yeah, it is a mechanical marvel. While listening to that, I suddenly had this memory that there, amongst the CDs here, there is a CD of a mechanical musical instrument. And lo and behold, I was able to find it. It says this is an unusual CD, and I think it fell off the back of a truck somewhere. I seem to remember it was at one of the schools being thrown out or something. And I've never really sampled it, but it says on the cover, Wurlitzer and mechanical organs. And there's about 75 tracks.
Good Lord.
But they're really, really short.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if this instrument was sort of used, if they're mechanical instruments, whether it was used for radio or used for some sort of incidental purpose, maybe sort of in between for effects. Maybe you could sort of set them up or cue them up, some of these effects. I can't really form an imagination for how these would have worked.
No.
But they're all sorts of sort of quite evocative titles. Starts off with sort of like 4 pieces, then it goes into a series of tracks called Wurlitzer Shorts. I might feature them because a lot of them are about 10 seconds each.
Oh, no, that'd be terrific.
Yeah, and I can just announce each one. But before doing that, I'll just give there's a little example of the instrument in question. There's no photo of it. There's no other information. It just says the Carlin Recorded Music Library. Well, maybe it's like a sound effects record. This is what it might be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
With tracks, yeah.
Yes, all these tracks. It might be like a sound effects CD. That's what it probably is, used for some sort of incidental theatre purpose or whatever. Anyhow, look, I'll play a little of the of just one track, one sort of larger example, and then I'll fast forward on and play a series of these little vignettes. I've just got to make sure I'm using this new CD player I've got lined up here. Hopefully this one doesn't jump. We'll just give it a go. I think it's We Do Like to Live Beside the Seaside, I think, and it is on a Wurlitzer. Okay, and most of the tracks on the CD are just of that length. But what I'll do is I'll jump ahead. I'll just let this fade for a second. I'll jump ahead to where it says shorts, because there's a whole stack of these shorts, and they're all about between 20 and 10 and 20 seconds each. Most of them. One of them is a bit longer. One's a steam train. It's a bit longer. It's 40 seconds. But I'll jump ahead. We'll play them, and I'll just announce each one before it's on, so we get the context. So the first one is called The Stripper. I don't know what this is about, but anyhow, we'll find out. And these are Wurlitzer shorts. Okay, the next one is called Heraldic Fanfare. Quite a few fanfares. Next one is Processional Fanfare. More official now, we have the Patriotic Fanfare. I love this music. Next one is Introductory Fanfare. Cabaret, it says. That speaks for itself. Next one is Cabaret Ending now. 9-second file. These are fun. Next one is called Run Up and Swell. It says introduction. And we have a circus fanfare next called the Magnificent. With the symbols at the end. If that wasn't enough, we now have the Bold Fanfare. And a change of mood. This one is called Welcome to the Nightclub. followed by Swell Chords for Cabaret. Next one is Stirring Fanfare. Followed by some gothic horror called Dr. Phoebes. I wonder where they got that from. Another one, comic horror with Look Behind You. And then we have Rising and Falling Effect. Well, that gives the synthesizer a run for its money. Now, next one is the Steam Train. This is a 41-second file. Pretty damn convincing. I like that. Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's really good. Next one is Frantic Storm, Turbulent Effects.
It's like the music to the shadow.
Yeah, it certainly is, exactly. Yeah, next one's Percussive March. Okay, then we have March with Rule Britannia. Oh, this will be very regal.
Leaving aside questions of loyalty, etc., that's a great tune, isn't it?
It is a great tune. It's marvellous. I think it's just so, great feel. Oh, this is called Blues Ending. Oh, yeah. We've got another blues ending. This is Blues Ending B. That was A we just heard. This is B.
Yeah, why not?
Why not indeed? Here we go. Showbiz Ending is the next one. And we get the long version now, which goes for a striking 15 seconds. Showbiz Ending. Next is what we just heard before, actually. I do like to be beside the seaside. I don't know about you, Frank, by getting theatre vibes hearing that.
Oh, it's great. great,
Isn't it just? Yes, here we go. English Country Garden.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're very good. They're little stings, aren't they?
Yeah.
Flora Dance is next.
Really like the floral dance.
Oh, it's a great tune, isn't it?
Peter Dawson singing.
He sang it so well.
Really infectious.
It is. This one is called the House Proud Hausfrau. That's good. Cossack's Tambourine.
Something in here for everyone.
Yeah, there is. The next one, the Radetzky March. Followed by Home on the Range.
Oh,
Oh, very good. And
that was terrific.
yeah, you just got a couple more. We have Over the Waves. And it's followed by Mandy's Music Box. Oh, that's really infectious. I'd love to hear the rest of that one.
So would I.
Yay! Will-o'-the-Wisp is the penultimate.
Go this year.
Yeah, it is. Didn't say that on the cover. Last one, it will be Known to All. Okay, so that was a set of Wurlitzer Stings. Now, there's a couple here of oops. These are mechanical organs, it says. I have no idea what the context is, but this is called the Annan polka on a mechanical organ.
Yeah.
Okay, I've found some context. These are various mechanical instruments here featured. This one is a Vellerhaus 70 keyless organ we're hearing at the moment, playing the Annan polka. Now, shortly we'll hear a Bernson 68 key organ. I can just jump ahead to that one because I think we'll just give these a little bit of a sample. So let's have a listen to the next. I'll just do this seamlessly. Here we go. This is Roses from the South. I find myself just drawn in to that sound world of these
Oh,
instruments.
yeah.
They're beautiful arrangements, aren't they? They just
They are.
yeah, and it's so effective. I like it a lot more than pianolas, just because of the there's so much more sort of timbre.
Oh, well, that's right. And there's just more scope to do
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely, and the way they use percussion, it's very clever. It just sort of adds
There's a real lot to it, doesn't it?
yeah, it really does.
In terms of realism.
Yes, definitely. It just
And
elevates.
musicality as well.
Yeah, totally. So.
Now, are these organs that we play with a roll, are they?
Yes, they are. They're all played evidently. They're listed as mechanical organs here on the CD, and we're now listening to Chirubirabin on a Gavioli 87-key troubadour organ.
So does that mean you could play it with keys?
Well, I think it just means that it's got 87 sample points. I guess so. I think that's the way. That's because I recall seeing one of these mechanical organs at a fair, and they're sort of on a truck. And
Right.
I mean, they're enormous things. And again, they are played with perforated rolls, and I gather that's the way it works. So. Anyhow, it's a great sound. We'll play a little of this. We'll just run through. It's another 4 or 5. The tracks are fairly short.
Oh, they're great.
But it gives us an insight into these fascinating mechanical instruments.
It all evokes a lovely funfair atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah, they do. They certainly do evoke that. It's it's very direct. Next one is Huey's Showman's organ, and a take on the famous can-can. There's so much in that, isn't there? All the percussion, interweaving lines, everything. It's all sort of there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm just letting the CD play out. Next one is I Do Like to Live Beside the Seaside.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the Giovanni trumpet organ. I suppose these all could be researched. So, yeah. we go. Yeah, all good. And that was Giovanni. Whoops. I'll just quickly check in with the next one, which is another recording with the Giovanni trumpet organ. And this, quite short, it's King Cotton. Brilliant. Okay, we've only got two more to go, and they're both short. And next one is the Belgian cabinet organ, and we hear barrel organ A. Okay, another recording of the Belgian cabinet organ, and it's entitled Barrel Organ B. There we have it, mechanical organs, and it's compelled me. I was just looking to see if I could find an example of a traditional German music box disc.
Oh, yes.
Because they've got a really interesting sound as well.
Oh, very nice. We still have a toy that we bought for the kids, which just hold on.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think I'm doing that.
Okay, it's interesting. This is on the CD.
Well, let's try something.
Sounds like an elaborate feedback.
Yeah, no, I was doing it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's sort of. It's not distracting. It's fine.
vk3sl. We had this Fisher-Price toy, and it was a mechanical. You wound it up and put discs into it.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And we had 5 discs, I think, plastic discs, and they were double-sided.
Yeah.
But the purpose of the discs were just like punch cards.
I see.
And they worked this system of bells.
Yeah.
Well, it sounded like a music box.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that worked brilliantly. and we've now had it for 40 odd years.
Oh, how about that? That's special. That's really
still works.
special. It still goes. It's great. I think I've seen those toys. They're little plastic discs. Yeah, that's wonderful. I've just reached in the cabinet and I've got this little thing here.
Yeah, that's right.
Has just a little music boxy, little twiddly thing.
That's the sound of these things.
Yeah, I've just got an idea. I've got my my gongs here, and I haven't got the beater for them, but I've got the resonant chamber. Now, what if I put this little music box on the back here?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, brilliant.
okay, I'm going to put the microphone right on it. See if we get this to work. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
How about that?
That's the introductory tones for Radio SL.
Oh, yes, that's right, exactly. I was thinking, remember Radio Australia had a...
No,
had that, didn't they?
and they certainly did. They played Waltzing Matilda.
Play Waltzing Matilda. It's probably just one of these that someone just...
Exactly, that's what it was. You've got Radio SL.
Yes, there we go. I've got a theme now. That's great. Well, I'm impressed with with that little thing and how well it works. I'd love to hear your one. I mean, we should get a sample recording of it.
I will.
Yeah,
I will.
just do it with the phone or something, and send me just a file or whatever.
No, I'll certainly do that.
Yeah, do that.
I think
'cause it'll be
we
fun.
may have lost one or two of discs, but we've certainly got discs because my grandkids will play with it now.
Okay, fantastic. Oh, that'd be good. That'd be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also was given a car, a plastic wind-up car,
Yeah.
which had Silent Night built into it.
Oh, really? Is that right?
Cost
Fantastic.
£2.12, which was a fortune in 1952.
I bet it was. Yes. I can
My
imagine.
godmother bought it for me.
Oh, that's really special. That's amazing. Oh, these are, you still got that?
No.
No. Okay. I'm sort of getting into getting music box vibes now. There's so many here on the net, but they're not properly recorded. They're just I mean. Oh,
that's lovely.
This one seems to work. It's only recorded off someone's video, but
It's a very nice one. That's got deep, very good
yes,
bells.
I think it's probably quite good. So I know the Melbourne Museum used to have a beautiful one. You put a 20-cent coin in. When I was a kid, I used to always put the 20 cents in and hear it and watch this disc very slowly rotate.
Yeah.
Big disc, and it was in a very elaborate cabinet, and it just had this otherworldly sound to it. Anyhow, Monica's, what's this one called? Monica's Regina Music Box number 1, Die Wacht am Rhein, it says. Okay, well, we can just sample and see. And I'm just getting this in here. Sorry, it's taking a while to cue this one up. But if we can have a listen, it could be good. Slow internet. Should be quicker this time of night. There we go, it's putting it on now. It'd be lovely to have one of these. They're beautiful machines.
Yeah.
They're absolutely magnificent works of art. I think they're very, very sought after, very rare.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So they're just lining it up now, going through the motions. He puts the little thing on the spindle. Now, I think these are from about the 1860s. They go way back. So here we go. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
It's charming,
It
isn't it?
really is charming. They're just wonderful creations. Oh, I'd have to find out more about them. There must be some compilations we'll have to discover. I just found something quickly then while looking, and we've got Isabella's Lullaby on one of those little thumb music boxes like I just played before.
Yeah.
And this just I would like to have a listen to this. It sounded pretty good. Oh, what a beautiful sound. I love its attack.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It's a sort of soft edge.
It's very soothing, isn't it?
It is soothing. In fact, I've just found a file. It says here 1 hour of music box to help people fall asleep. It's a nice idea, and it's got a playlist of the hour, and one of them's the Parker Bell Canon. And I'd like to just hear what they do with that.
Yes.
That could be really good.
My son, when he was in Europe, went to Salzburg.
Yeah.
And he brought me back a lovely little round mechanical thing that played Eine kleine Nacht.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Fortunately, the winder broke, and there doesn't seem to be any way of fixing it.
Oh, what a pity. I would have loved to have heard
It was lovely.
Yeah, we'll see if we can find a recording of it.
They're very obsessed with Mozart there, of course.
Yes, indeed they are. It's all Mozart and Salzburg. All right, this is queuing up. Oh gosh, I'm finding this just such a beautiful sound bath. It's just magnificent. It just sounds so beautiful. It's so quaint and so fragile, and it is very special. I think Frank I'll wind. I'll just play another 5 minutes and let that ride the
Yeah,
program.
that'd be lovely, Steve.
I think it'd be a nice way to finish. And I had some recordings of a beautiful opera singer, but I'll save it and we can play it next week. And I'll just keep it at bay.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah, but I'm just finding this just magical, and we'll wind with it, and I'll be back tomorrow. Are you around tomorrow afternoon?
Yes.
Great. All right. We'll look forward to catching up with you then. And thanks to listeners. Thank you for your indulgence. Thank you for hanging in there and listening through.
A very belated hello to Clint. You're probably gone to bed by now.
Yeah.
But he was going to do listens.
Oh, really?
I spoke to him tonight.
Oh, great.
And
that's nice
so
to
you probably talk to him tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You coming up in the morning
I'll
at all?
see how I go. I think, yes, I might try and come up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be good. All right. Well, a warm hello to Clint if he's listening.
So that is totally captivating, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I just find it just takes me somewhere. It's just wonderful. So yeah, we'll continue with just a few more minutes of this marvelous music box, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Steve. And we shall talk tomorrow afternoon, if not before.
Indeed.
vk3sl signing and going to listening.
Yeah, vk3sl saying cheerio until soon.
Cheerio to the listener.